Jalen played because we was like, man, the run game is back. Like, so it's like you think about like the second play of the game, you run for 60 something yards for a touchdown, right? And it's like, man, it's like a sigh of relief. Like, oh, it's not even like you're not even worried about anything at that point because you're like, oh, if this is part of what we about to do, it's crazy. It basically put the Giants on their heels. So now they don't want that to happen again, right? And then all of a sudden, everything else is open. Like everything, like the passes are working. We getting down the field. We starting off 2nd and 5 instead of 2nd and 13. The defense wakes up. I'm like, everything happened all because of the run game. You know what I mean?
So I think that's a great point. Here's what I saw. Let me know what you think, because here is to me the most important aspect of this game. For the first time ever, all season, I thought the offense looked one word: relaxed.
Yeah.
They didn't look tense. They didn't look try to push anything. Everything looked like it came with ease. And I haven't seen that all year, Jay, not once. They didn't have to worry about getting AJ involved. We didn't have to focus on, forcing it in someplace. They really had, like, that was the difference to me, that everything looked like it just flowed naturally. There was nothing forced. We didn't have to get Barkley touches. We didn't have to get Tank touches. We didn't have to get Smith touches, Goddard. Everything just kind of spread out easy, and there was just no pressure. I just really, that thing. And to your point, though, the second thing that stood out, how important is that RPO, Jay? Because here's the thing. Here's the play to me that really emphasized that. The play to Dallas Goedert for the touchdown, when they faked it to Barkley and he pulled it back, the whole team, the Giants, went to the right, or at least to our right, their left. And they kind of fouled him. And then when he came around here, then it wasn't even, okay, oh, it's not Barkley. Let's reverse course. But then they focused on Jalen. And as they're coming up to Jalen, Goddard gets past him, touchdown. So these are the things, those are the two things to me I have not seen all year that really stood out to me.
Yeah, 100%. And it doesn't work if you still having the runs for 2 yards or 3 yards and they're getting jammed up in the middle. That one breakout run changed everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
The other big thing, I think, all season leading up to now, because we're heading into the bye, the other big thing that stand out to me is the Eagles are now tied for first in the league with fewest turnovers. I think that is the biggest difference, that they are 6-2 versus 3-3 versus anything else.
Yeah.
They have one interception by Jalen, and that was a bad one.
And one fumble.
And one fumble by Jalen, and then one fumble by A.J. Dillon, who, by the way, has not played since, and that's a significant thing, too.
Yeah.
And by the way, the bad news is, who they're tied with for least turnovers?
Who's that?
Green Bay. Who are coming to play.
Well, something's got to give.
Something's got to give at some point. Too. The only downside, as we're heading to this bye, we're sort of halfway into the season, still talking about this game. I told you my two players that were going to break out, two whiteys, Goddard, who did, and then Blankenship, who did not. I mean, Blankenship had a very good game, but the reason I picked Blankenship is because, we're 26 in takeaways. We are not doing a good job with interceptions, causing fumbles, getting fumbles. Is that all in concern? Is like, did this game show you? Because I thought this game we could have done a little bit more with that. Does that cause concern for you at all? Or what do you think is going to be with them being able to start getting turnovers late in the year to sort of build this up a little bit?
I think the more they get in tune with what Vic Fangio's looking for, remember, everybody wasn't in that system.
True.
So when everybody's working the way they're supposed to be working, maybe Blankenship's playing up a little bit more. Maybe someone's cheating out a little bit better. Like the touchdown or the pick six that happened in the Super Bowl was all because Zach Bond had everything on lockdown and Cooper could come across and read the quarterback at that point. It's like everything has to be working in unison for those things to happen. I mean, the Andrew Bakuba touchdown from earlier, the week before with Minnesota, that just happened because he just happened to be far enough back in his coverage.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It wasn't a situation where somebody was able to break on a route and get the interception.
It wasn't a heady play. It was a lucky play.
Those will happen, though, because you did have one already with Jalen Hunt. Like, Jalen Hunt was a straight coverage read interception. You know what I mean? But you are used to seeing Blankenship get those, like, especially towards like fourth quarter into the game. We got used to seeing those, and I think it'll come. I'm more excited with the fact that we're at the bye, we're 6-2, even though I had us at 7-1. But we've played the most complete game going into the bye. We don't have the questions coming out of the bye. Like, we just showed what we have.
Right.
So now I'm excited going into the bye to see what we can do against Green Bay coming out of the bye. So that's where I am with it.
Yeah, I think also too is that I'm hoping that they use this as a springboard, not as a sigh of relief that they're going to sit on their laurels for the next week and a half before they come back hungry. I think they're going to get in there and hopefully step it up a notch. But that's a good point. I think one of the biggest plays of this game, I mean, it was pretty much in the bag as you weren't worried. Of course, I'm texting every 5 minutes. I'm worried. Right. But I think the biggest thing for me was what ended that game was Tank Bigsby. And I have to do right now in this podcast, I got to get an apology. Now, not yet, not completely. But here's the thing. Now, what did I say, Jay? What did I say? That he was a bust completely for kickoffs. And you know that he was horrendous.
Yeah.
You agree with that?
Yeah.
But we didn't know what we had with him as running back because we've never used him. And if this is any indication, then that was 2 picks very well spent.
Yeah.
Because this guy can play some serious ball. Because I thought to play the game, and by the way, this is weird. Fox had him at 2nd and 31. They were really 2nd and 26. So Fox actually had the wrong amount of yards. I don't know if you saw that. Mm-hmm. I looked at that on replay, but it was 2nd and 26, not 2nd and 31, but they had 2nd and 31. And then he ran for, I believe, 29 yards. And on 2nd and 26, and that was Hurts' fault, by the way, who kept going backwards for the sack. It was a, I believe, 16-yard sack that made it 2nd and 26. And this guy runs for 29 yards. I thought that was the play of the game.
Yeah. I mean, it was that expected. Like, it was like one of those situations where you're like, I'll take it. You know what I mean? Like, it was like the same thing if Shipley come in, you'd be like, I'll take it, man. You know what I mean? But it's for me, it's if we have this regularly, there's nobody stopping us.
No.
There's nobody stopping us. And people can sit there and go, oh, yeah, but what about this? What about that? I'm like, you cannot tell me anything. 38 points with ease. And the 38 points was with ease because you had a running game and you had the passing game. And those 4 touchdowns that Jalen Hurts threw could have easily been 3 run touchdowns and 1 passing touchdown. It could have been that way throughout the game.
And here's the most important part. They did it without Cam Jurgens and without A.J. Brown.
Right. So which is even scarier because Cam comes back, BG comes back, AJ comes back, Jacorian Bennett comes back. You got a lot of pieces still coming back.
Owen Smith comes back.
Right. You got a lot of things still coming back. So it's kind of like y'all be putting y'all on notice. We get to the end of the season, and I'm like, man, the Eagles here again. Yeah, we still here. We still here.
So that is encouraging because a lot have been talking about trade deadline. We can talk a little about that too later, but a lot of talk is about that. But you got to think, you're getting your center back, you're getting a cornerback back, you're getting a defensive end back, and then another defensive end back. Mm-hmm. So how much do you really need at the trade deadline? Because you also have to worry about your assets and your players. So you have to be careful because you may well be doing your trading within house of just getting people back and healthy.
Right. Absolutely.
By the way, Jalen Hurts posted 3+ touchdown passings in back-to-back games for the first time in his career.
Yeah.
Didn't know that, but that seems about right. So by the way, Dallas Goedert in some pretty good company. Only 3 NFL tight ends have recorded 7+ receiving tight end TDs in their first 7 games. Travis Kelce, Rob Gronkowski, the Gronk, and Dallas Goedert. That's pretty impressive company.
Yeah.
By the way, Barkley has 9 career rushing TDs of 60+ yards. Only AP has more. And AP did that in his whole career, has 15 in his career. Barkley already has 9. And this guy got at least 4 or 5 years to go.
Wow.
Incredible. The only other thing, I guess, talking about the game before we get, again, deeper too, your thoughts. I really thought with AJ out, we'd really see more Jahan Dotson, and we just haven't. Now, we had the 1 pass play at the end, which was nice. That was very nice. I just have a concern that this guy doesn't seem to show up at all in any game. And I can't understand for the life of me why.
But here's the thing. Why does he have to at this point?
because you don't want to put it all on Smitty, and obviously nobody else.
But you're not. It's in the realm of what the offense is doing. You forget he did have the big catch in the Cowboy game, right?
Right.
But sometimes you might only need the one big catch. I mean, he's out here playing his role, doing what he's supposed to do. If he's the third read, maybe Jalen doesn't get to his third read. Maybe it's the first read, the second read, and the ball's out.
Well, here's my concern, right? So AJ's out. You have a horrendous secondary in the Giants secondary. They're god awful, right?
Yeah.
If you can't post up some numbers on that secondary, imagine when we have to go to the playoffs, and let's just say, if God forbid, AJ pulls a little hammy, he's got to come out for the second half. Dotson's got to step up, and if you can't do it against the Giants in the regular season, who have a pitiful secondary, that's what's making me nervous. I agree. Right now, it doesn't matter.
All right, let me go with a whole nother route, because you dumping on Dotson. we keep forgetting who drawing up these plays. Is it something that he can get open on?
Yeah.
Or is it just a fly route? Or is it a comeback?
You tell me all game, all those plays. They had like 60-some plays. You can't get open more than once?
Wait a minute. All right, wait a minute. Have we seen games where AJ only had one catch?
True.
So we know that AJ is better than Dotson, right? But when AJ don't get the ball, it's Jalen Hurts' fault.
Well, here's the thing. Hold on. Well, AJ's getting covered and Smith's getting covered. You have a one-on-one with Dotson in the slot, so he's still not getting to the point where Hurts goes, this guy's open enough, I got to give him the ball.
He threw him up the ball, and it was a 50-50 ball, and he caught that one.
One play.
I put it like this. So Smitty had how many catches?
6.
He had 6 catches. So with the ones that he had, how many of them was contested? I only think one of them was contested. Like everything else was pretty much,
open. He was open, right?
Whatever. But that's your number one receiver. You're saying Dotson should be getting open like Smitty, and he ain't Smitty.
But one catch? I mean, I just figured there'd be much more than one catch in a game. That's all.
Cooper had 0.
But Cooper's like, he's fourth of the string.
You can't move the goalpost, baby. Like why I ain't see him get open. He's supposed to be this phenom, right?
Okay, first of all, Cooper.
He's supposed to be AJ Brown Jr., right? Come on, man.
Dotson was in for 34 snaps. Cooper was in for 7. I mean,
you can't get open 7 plays, man.
Come
on, man.
Don't be dissing my boy Cooper, man. I love Cooper, man.
I'm just saying. Don't be dissing Jahan. Jahan was there when nobody else was on the Super Bowl, baby. He was the one that got things cracking, baby.
Oh. The other concern I have, third downs a little bit. Eagles converted just 6 of 30 third downs so far this season. So they're the 6th worst third game down percentage in the league right now. So that's another little concern. The other thing was, talk to me about this too before deeper in the weeds, because we'll get a little bit more into this. We'll get into our 4 points. Not a lot of Campbell. We talked a little bit about this, but talk to me about, we didn't see much Campbell, more of an edge rusher. I think Dean is going to take back this over, but how do you use that chess piece Campbell the rest of the year now that Dean is back?
Vic Fangio is better served when he has a luxury of having a Campbell at his disposal. It's like he can use him as a Swiss Army knife. He might bring him in for a blitz. He might bring him in for a drop back coverage on a blitz. You know what I mean? Like bring him up on the line and they blitz from with Nakobe and then have him drop back in the Nakobe spot. Like you never know what he can use them for. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay.
But it's a luxury to have him. I'm more concerned about what's going to happen after this year. Like
Dean's up after this year.
Right. It's like, do you pay the man or do you just be like, hey man, thanks.
You gotta go.
You know what I mean? Like you don't know. And I'm like Jalen Carter's gonna have a lot to do with that too, because Jalen's gonna get his $40 million per year. And it's like, where's that money gonna go? So right now, Nakobe is, I think, the better option. You still can't get through in those blitzes though, even when you got Lil. But somebody's got to be able to get home on those.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Couple more things. Things are looking up. My biggest problem. What was my biggest problem all year?
With what?
The Eagles.
What defense?
Well, all right, I'll give you the hint. Defense. What was my biggest problem all year with this defense?
Oh, getting home.
Getting.
Hey man, listen.
If ET can get home, some of these brothers better be able to get home, man. I'm tired of this, man.
Listen,
You got to get home.
We don't have any pressure. Listen, man, I told you what was going to happen.
I know, but so here's the thing. Here's how it's looking up, though. So maybe they're making some collect calls. Maybe they're using MCI here. But Jalix Hunt had a sack and a career high 9 pressures on 22 pass rushes. That's 40%. That's incredible. When you're getting pressure on 40% of your pass rushes, that's darn good. Now, again, I don't think that the line is the best of the Giants, but that's still in lesser opponents. You got to do what you got to do. So that was good. Small note. Somebody said that Dickerson went to the locker room towards the end of the game. I didn't see that, but apparently he seems to be fine. But I didn't notice that he had gone to the locker room towards the end of the game. Interesting. Anyway, last but not least, what would you say before we get to our 4 points? Because you probably didn't see this, but this is the most shocking stat of this game. Can you kind of guess what the most shocking stat of this game was?
No negative yards.
Specifically the secondary of the Eagles defense.
Did any wide receiver catch a ball?
You're close. You're very, very close. But no, there was a couple of catches, but
okay. What's the stat?
Ringo did not allow a single catch the entire game.
Yeah, but I did see him on the field though. I saw him on the field. I kept saying they go Ringo right there. Like every time the play was about to start, I was just waiting for him to mess up.
I was like, wait a minute. Was you sure he was on the field when they were even throwing the ball? Because he didn't allow a catch?
He was definitely out there. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I got problems with that. But anyway,
hey man, he might turn. You never know. He might turn it around. I mean, he can't do no worse.
He can't get worse.
You know that, worse, man. I'm like, listen, man. If he can turn, let me tell you something. I'm gonna be, and this is 100% honest. There's still room for him to turn it around. He could become the city's like darling. He really could. BG was not on everybody's favorite list for
2 or 3 years. For 2 or 3 years,
for a long time. People felt like we wasted a draft pick.
Yep.
BG. And on top of that, Kelsey. Same thing.
Kelsey for a years wasn't good.
Kelsey was a bust. Yeah, man. And it took 1 year for them to turn it around. And it was like right on the cusp of them leaving. Like, they might not be on the team next year.
Right.
They turned it around.
Actually,
so, all's not lost for Kelee Ringo. But I'm going to tell you like this. In order for you to become that most loved member, you got to be able to take that lashing. Take that lashing and just become better. That's all you got to do.
Actually, bit of trivia. Speaking of BG, do you know where he almost went until the Eagles made a last-ditch effort to pull him back?
You mean when he was about to leave the first time?
Yeah.
Where?
We just played him.
Oh, the Giants?
The Giants offered him a 4-year deal. And
I can see that, though.
And Eagles were like, we don't want to lose him to the Giants. We don't mind losing to somebody. We're not losing to the Giants. And they decided they pretty much matched the offer. It wasn't exactly the same. I think it was a little less, but he decided to stay. And as you said, I'm going to work it out. I'm going to become a hero. And he did.
Yeah.
Great story.
Yep.
All right. We are 20 past the hour. Let's get into our 4 points. Let's get started, and then we'll get deeper into some parts of this game. Your first 4 point, Jay.
Finally, a Saquon game. This is what's been missing. Like, we were looking forward to these last year. You know what I mean? You knew he was going to be one of them. You know, I thought we was going to get one in the Rams game. They was like, hell nah. Y'all can do whatever y'all want, but we ain't losing to the Saquon run.
Right.
Everybody else pretty much bottled him up all year long until we got to the second game against the Giants. And it was just good to see him hit the field like that. That highlight is something that we look forward to. And, you know, it just puts the offense at ease, makes the defense get hype, and it just changes the momentum of every game we play. So hopefully this will be what we expect for going on for the 11 games?
Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah.
It's 8 games. All right. But yeah. 8 games. So I thought my number 1 point is this was about pride. This was about you got your butt whooped. I know it wasn't a revenge game, but I think this is why I think Sirianni is kind of underrated. I'm becoming a lifelong fan of his. Not yet, but This was about pride. I think you put it out there. It's like, this wasn't about revenge. This is like, you guys got your butt whipped. This is about us getting physical again. You got to show this team you are more physical than them. They out-muscled you. And that never happens to the Eagles. Never happens.
Yeah.
And I thought this was about pride and not getting out-muscled again. And you saw, I don't know if you saw Dickerson's pregame speech, but it was riveting as always. So I love the fact that they came out and it was physical from the get-go. And I love that. All right, give me your number 2 point.
My number 2 point is Jalen Hurts was better. Now, I didn't think he could get better from the perfect QB rating that he had. And like ratings don't mean anything to me, because even though he might not have had a perfect QBR rating for this game, for me, it was a better game than the Minnesota game to me. And it was just because the running game was working. He was moving outside of the pocket. He was reading the defenses. He was doing all the things that I was used to seeing him do. And it was just like good to see. Even the scramble that he had and the slide up through the first down was like, yes, this is what we need to see. It was like he took control of the game and did what he had to do for us to get the win.
I think you're right in that point too. One of the biggest things I saw is the maturation of him saying, I was really an RPO guy, but we had to mix it up, and he's under center a lot, and he's really embraced going under center. How often can you find a quarterback who's won a Super Bowl, won the MVP of the Super Bowl, and takes a step back to go, we need to do something different, and I'm willing to be different and go under center? I think that just shows you how great this guy is about winning. So kudos to Hurts. I agree. My number 2 is the same as yours. Your first one, the run game is back. It's just nice to see. The blocking, I was watching Baldy's breakdowns. Boy, the blocking was just pinpoint perfect. I mean, Steen looked good. Toth looked good. Dickerson got 2, 3. I think he got 3 different people on the Barkley run on that second play.
Yeah.
I think he hit 3 different people.
Yeah.
He threw one guy, got to the linebacker, and then he nipped the safety. Unbelievable stuff. So great to see that is back. Number 3 for you.
Number 3 is that the defensive line had great moments. And so it was the relentless effort of them. It wasn't like they got there right away. Like every single time, except for I think that last sack they got on Dart after the fumble that they didn't call.
Right.
That must have pissed them off, because that defensive line got there immediately. Like, get your ass down and stop cheating. You know what I'm saying? like they got to him immediately on that one.
Yeah.
All the other sacks basically came from good coverage on the back end.
Yep.
Didn't have anywhere to go, and those guys just kept battling until they got to him. But, one sack breeds another one. You know what I mean? And their confidence starts going up, and then they start putting their hands down in the dirt a little bit harder. Like, yo, let's get another one. Meet you at the quarterback. So as much as we complained, even with people out, with Uche out there and Jalen Hunt, and I don't know if these guys are good enough. They are good enough. It's just that they just got to continue to do what they got to do. And Jalen Carter is the catalyst. That 100% changed the game. If Jalen Carter play against the Giants, I think we win that game too.
Oh, that was a rough game. All right, I'll go with it. All right.
It was rough. I'm trying to tell you, man. They have to game plan for that man. You cannot line one man up against him one-on-one. If you do, your quarterback gonna get hurt.
My next 2 points are sort of in my vein of the Tank Bigsby call. But let me go to my number 3 point. Petula gets better. I mean, we're ripping him all year. You got to give the guy a little kudos. Was it perfect? No. But is this guy learning? I think he is. And maybe Sirianni's right. I got to give Sirianni a little credit, because Sirianni said this guy's a bright guy. He studies hard. He works everything out. Now, you got to understand, in the first 4 to 5 games, I think we agreed, Jay, it's all about execution, right? This guy can draw up the best plays in the world. If people aren't executing, it doesn't matter. If they're getting false starts, it doesn't matter. If they got 4th and inches and then all of a sudden Toth, like he did, gets a penalty, you're going back 5 yards. That's not your fault.
Yeah.
And that might have been a missed opportunity for points. So at the same time, I'm not totally killing him because it wasn't all his fault, but he just seemed to be uninventive. And he got very inventive with this game. I liked it. So kudos to Petullo for getting better. Not there yet, but getting better. Number 4 for you.
Eliminate the distractions. Yeah. So this whole AJ Brown stuff that everybody, the media is like harping on, and AJ sending these cryptic tweets and all this other stuff that's going on. Trade deadline is November 4th.
Yep.
So trade deadline is coming up. And my whole thing is, we've been through this before. We've seen this rodeo before. We've been through this circus. The whole thing happened with Donovan McNabb and T.O. the longest. And if AJ really wants some perspective on the bullshit that he feel like he going through, talk to T.O. Talk to Donovan McNabb and ask them what they would have done different back then.
Well, I wouldn't ask T.O. because T.O.'s insane, but Donovan maybe.
Even T.O. will admit he should have he said, I would have shut the hell up. I would have shut the hell up and I would have did what I was supposed to do while I was in Philadelphia. He admits that his best time was in Philadelphia. He admits it. His best time was in Philadelphia.
You know what? Actually,
you think the grass is green on the other side, but once you're gone, you're gone. You already had one team just basically give you away. Then you had another team embrace you, and you went all the way to the mountaintop and won the Super Bowl. And now you sit here and you complain about what really? What are you really complaining about? You want to be the man. You want to be the best person out here. Guess what? Jamar Chase, quarterback, is hurt and out. I don't hear nothing from Jamar Chase.
Right.
I don't hear nothing from Justin Jefferson. Now,
he had a quarterback with one arm.
You want to switch places? You know what I mean? Because I guarantee you Justin Jefferson will come here in a minute. Right. Whether he get 2 passes thrown to him or 1 pass thrown to him, he'll come here in a minute. It's a whole bunch of people rather be winning right now than losing.
Yeah. You know what actually that started the T.O. McNabb downfall?
Yeah.
You know the exact game?
I don't remember the exact game, but I do know that a lot of it came from, it was both sides. It wasn't just one-sided, first of all.
Right.
Donovan had a little bit of an issue with the whole love affair with
him. Sure. I
mean, Donovan was the man. I mean, you see 5 jerseys all throughout the stadium. T.O. get there, all of a sudden they start doing a T.O. chants. You start seeing the 81 jerseys everywhere. Donovan felt some type of way. T.O. started feeling that little pressure, that love or whatever. They play in that one game. He ran back to the huddle, told Donovan I was open. Donovan told him to shut the fuck up.
There it is.
That's when everything went left.
Yep, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. I read a thing where it was the Giants game.
Yeah.
The Giants game, he ran his out and up, and it was wide open, and he threw short to like Westbrook, and he's like, "Are you crazy?" Yeah. And he just kept chirping, and he was trying to get the play out, and he wouldn't stop, and he just looks at him and tells, "Dude, you got to shut up.
Yeah,
all right, just shut up. Let's play the game." Yeah. And T was like, "Oh, how dare you discuss that? You say that to me? You know, it's like, come on, man."
Yeah, like here's the thing. It's funny. Like receivers can say, "Oh, I was wide open," but I'm like, "Yeah, man, but why don't you go back there and try to throw the ball?" Like exactly. You don't see what they see. You only turn around and see what you see, right? But I'm like, dude, you didn't see this 300-pound dude about to maul you. He had to move off the spot, and when he looked back up again, you was covered. Oh, but I was just open. Yeah, but you ain't see this 300-pound dude running at me.
Yeah, that's like, when we're hanging out and chicks come on to you, I'm like, can't they see how handsome I am? I mean, can't they see this?
Right, but it's like, receivers are quick to be, and I get it, because, you have to be somewhat upset, because the only way you can perform is for somebody to get you the ball.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So I get that part of it, but my whole thing is, man, do your job, man. Shut up.
Yeah, I hear you.
Real. I mean, there's so many people that would just be envious to be in that position, but you know what? The people will always find a way to screw it up, and you know what? Antonio Brown did it. Like, you know what I mean? Look at Stephon Diggs.
Stephon Diggs did it.
Look at Stephon Diggs. The dude was in Minnesota. He was the man. Where is he at? Like, he's at New England, right?
Right. And he also got busted for having that little thing on the boat and the whole thing with the drugs.
Yeah.
You don't think he'd rather be back in Buffalo winning? Of course.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now. Like AJ said, he want to get traded, and how he's gonna do what's best for the team. Dude, I hope you don't end up in no bad situation like on the Saints or something.
He could go to Cleveland and we get Myles Garrett.
He might end up on the Saints.
He might. You're going back with Kellen Moore. Good luck with you, bud.
Yeah.
Playing indoors to nobody.
Yeah.
All right, number 4 for you on the 4 points.
That was my number 4.
What was that again?
That was my number 4. Eliminate the distractions.
Oh, right. Okay, number 4 for me. Again, got to give the flowers out to the right people. The pass rush I've been harping on all season. Much better. Again, not perfect, but much better. Getting home, even if it's like, you're sitting around and then it's just hard to believe that Kelee Ringo is holding down the spot, even though their receivers aren't great.
Right.
But Kelee Ringo did enough because he was still poor all season against poor receivers. So it just shows that when everybody's in unison, the defense looks tremendous.
Right.
It looked really good. All right, so there's our 4 points, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get to our game ball for you.
My game ball goes to Saquon Barkley, man. Saquon, 150 rushing yards, man, 150 on the dot. Then the groin went off on him. So it was like,
Hey, you know what? There's a lot of times that I've been going and like pretty good, and all of a sudden my groin gets going a little bit. So.
Yeah. But nah, man, that was
not in a good way.
That's definitely the best game he's had this season. And that's exactly what we needed. I mean, he definitely gets the game ball.
Yeah, I have Barkley, but I have to give a white boy a little love too. So I got to give Goddard a little bit. I mean, you talk about efficiency. 3 catches for Goddard. 3 catches, 2 of them touchdowns. I mean, you can't do any better than that.
Right.
So that's pretty good. So I got to give Goddard a little bit of love on that game ball because I think he deserves as much as Barkley. They were both 2 keys in that game. Both had 2 touchdowns, by the way, too.
Yeah.
Hard to believe, by the way, with 5 touchdowns that only 1 was rushing. That's really hard. In a game where you ran for 260 plus yards.
Yeah.
Hard to believe, but there you go. All right. Your drama queen for this week.
Drama queen is the Giants fans. 100%, man. Listen, let me tell you something. So many people coming out the woodwork talking trash, like, oh, we about to sweep y'all and all this other stuff. And then we got the whole thing about the referees. Yeah, let me clear the air on the whole referee thing about this game. The referees were bad for both teams.
Yes, they were.
There were times that I do agree with you that yes, that should have been a fumble during the tush push. Yes, I do agree that should have been a fumble. However, that pass that Dart had that got knocked out before he passed the ball, that's a fumble too, damn it. Like, what are you talking about? Like, let's go tit for tat. Let's talk about it for a second. The Scatterboo touchdown. The Kobe Dean is clearly getting tackled when he came through on the blitz. That's a hold. That touchdown should have never have counted. And let's talk about the pass interference, offensive pass interference. Yes, they were hand fighting, but the separation that Slayton got from Quinyon Mitchell came from a push. It didn't come because he was faster than that man. It came because he pushed him. And he was grabbing his shirt. Yes, because he pushed him. So he was like, you push me, I'm going to grab your shirt. You're not going to cheat me and me not cheat back. It's just what it is. So the refs was bad on everything.
Bosa. Yeah.
So I'm not going to sit here and listen to y'all cry about y'all only lost because of the refs. Y'all lost because y'all the Giants and you ass. That's why you lost.
Why you gotta get in my face about that? Yes. Here's the biggest thing. I don't give a about the interference with the Sterling Sharp or whatever, the Sterling Shepard and the whole thing. I don't give it. You know why? Because you just talked about it. It never should have happened. They never should have had that pass because it was a fumble. And here's the thing that made me insane. I get the whole thing with the tush push fumble. I get it. But they had ruled already that they had stop motion. So whatever they made a bad call, it's superfluous because they had already blown the whistle and they said that this is the way it was. All right, whatever. In that situation, when you say on the field that that's a fumble, you need concrete evidence. You need unbelievable evidence.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see evidence that would overturn that? No.
No, none at all.
None. There was none. In fact, it only emphasized that it was a fumble.
It was a fumble. 100% that was a fumble. And I'm like, if that's not a fumble, then we already back to the tuck rule.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like that. Like the ball, he had no forward motion. Like the ball got knocked out before it even went forward. So I'm like, dude, just give us the ball.
That was crazy. That really pissed me off. So my drama queen was Rashid Rice, man. Dude, you come back for 2 games and you flip the ball to somebody's helmet.
Yeah.
This is something where you just talked about just eliminate distractions. That's the kind of player, man. It's like, I love your talent, but I gotta that's why Tyreek Hill was gone. He wasn't gone for any other reason. It wasn't about money, it wasn't about contract. It's like, we just know at some point your drama is going to derail this team, and we ain't having it.
CJGJ.
Exactly. At some point, your talent is not enough. It's just not enough to override it.
Nope.
And there's nobody who's above the team, so you're gone.
Yeah, and then that's a perfect example, like Tyreek Hill. He was on the Super Bowl championship team, a team that's perennial in the Super Bowl, and you got traded to the Miami Dolphins. Purgatory.
Yep.
Nobody cares. Everybody talks about how great you were when you were with the Chiefs. And that's the same thing that's going to happen to A.J. Brown. A.J., you leave the Eagles, ain't nobody gonna care. You're going to be like you was in Tennessee.
Nobody heard of you. Nobody heard of you.
Everybody was like, oh, yeah, A.J. Brown, A.J. Green, A.J. Brown, A.J. which one?
And here's the thing. If I had A.J. Brown, I would show him one thing. And that was the comment at the end of the year last year. I tell you, like, I don't want to be here. I'm out. I'm done. That should show you right there. This is the guy who, again, like you were saying, perennial Pro Bowl, perennial Super Bowl and Pro Bowl. Everybody hears about you. Nobody ever cares. Everything you left, nobody ever heard of you. And you have been complaining and whining since the day you left.
Yep.
It's been awful down there. And the culture's bad down there.
Yep.
You don't know how good you have it. So don't fuck it up.
You don't know until you go somewhere else and see it for yourself.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's going to learn the hard way, but, we're going to keep moving.
Yep. All right. So let's get into our grades real fast. Give me a quick overall grades: offense, defense, special teams, coaching.
Offense grade, I give a A. For the defense, I give a B. For the special teams, I gave an A. And then for coaching, I gave an A.
Yeah, offense, I had an A. I didn't give an A plus just because there were a couple of little things, but it was pretty close to a perfect game. The defense, I gave an A minus, only because, again, there were just a couple of little things. I think there was a little better opportunity to get even better, but I really thought that was one of the strongest games they've played all year, because essentially they only gave up 13 points. It was the second team that gave up that extra touchdown.
Yeah.
Special teams, I gave an A minus. I thought they did a much better job. We'll get to that in a minute. And then coaching, again, A. I just think the way that Sirianni and Petzullo and Vic had this game really tight, I just kudos those guys getting that job done.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So now let's get into a little deeper stuff. Eagles pot up 427 yards. That's 140 more than their season average. So, and that was without AJ and Cam. I thought the blocking was really good. I thought Tanks Bigsby again, 104 rushing yards on only 14 carries. Or I'm sorry, Barkley had 14 carries. I think he had 7 on 104. So, it's interesting now. I thought, did we both talk about this? I know I was pretty excited, but I thought you were too. But when we got A.J. Dillon, I'm like, boy, this could be a really good 1-2 punch.
Yeah.
And right now, I would guess that he is going to be cut if we make any trades.
Probably.
I think he'd be the first one cut, because I know they love Ship still, but Tank is the guy. And I think A.J. is just a luxury at this point.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, Dillon's going to probably be gone. But I was really excited about him. I just, it's just a shame it didn't work out. It just seemed like he was still a pretty good player. Again, Petzullo I thought was fantastic. I thought the variety in run calls were pretty good. I saw a different formations. Did you see that too? I saw a mix of run and pass, different formations, different lineups, different plays that kept them off balance. I thought that was just that alone. This guy's starting to learn.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, for the first time in 35 years, the Eagles have run for 275 yards and thrown for 4 TDs. That was against, I don't know if you remember the Patriots game where Randall ran down the sideline. Nobody touched him. He just kept going. It was that game. Yeah. It was actually the game, believe it or not. If you don't remember the 48-20 win of the Patriots in 1990, that was the game before what game? That Patriots game was kind of semi-infamous because it was the game before this game.
The body bag game?
That is correct. Yo, give it up for the guy with the trivia. The body bag game. That is exactly correct.
Mm-hmm.
So Jalen Hurts did 75% of his passes for 4 TDs, no picks against the Giants. He's now got 15 touchdowns, 1 interception while completing 70% of his passes. His passer ratings the last 2 weeks are 158. That was the perfect one. And then 141.
Yeah.
He's only the 3rd QB in Eagles history to be over 140 in back-to-back weeks. Trivia time. Who were the other 2 quarterbacks to have at least 140 rating in back-to-back weeks? Let me know what you think it is. I think you know what it is, but I guarantee you'll get one wrong. All right, so there you go. And then, by the way, the last person to do that 140 or better in back-to-back weeks was Drew Brees in 2018. So kudos to Hurts. Mm-hmm. Devontae Smith, 6 catches, 84 yards. Did you ever notice, by the way, he hasn't dropped a pass all year?
Who, Devontae?
Yep.
You saying drop or incomplete? Because he had incomplete passes.
He had incomplete passes, but he has not dropped a pass
Drop,
all
okay.
year.
Okay. All right, we got to define what drop and incomplete is, because there's been things he had his hands on.
Yeah, but it was like a tough catch. It wasn't like he caught it and dropped it. It was like a tough catch.
I got you. Yeah.
All right, so there's a little bit of a difference there. And Hurts was pretty good on the first blitz. He got the hot read. Finally, got the hot read of Barkley. The guy came at him. He threw it to the other guy. It was
yeah.
But he did struggle in the third down blitz, a drive later, and he was sacked. So he's still learning. He's still, not perfect with that, but I like that he's getting a lot better. Like you said, he's reading defense a whole lot better.
Yeah.
He's staying committed to being under center, which I think, again, I told you, that was to me one of the biggest things about Hurts this year is that he's like, I'll do whatever to change it up because we got to start winning. Love it. Second trivia question tonight. And I asked you this because you didn't know either. But Saquon Barkley and Tank Bigsby rushed for over 100 yards in the same game. Who were the last two Eagle running backs to also rush for 100 yards in the same game? Name the game and name the two players. So that's your second trivia question tonight. We want to hear from you. Put it in comments. A greater variety of run calls really helped Barkley, I thought, too. Dallas Goedert, again, I talked about him. 3 catches, 2 touchdowns. Amazing game. Jahan Dotson, we talked about. Darius Cooper, your boy, was often as the third down blocking receiver, by the way. Why isn't Darius Cooper catching passes, by the way? Because he's the blocking wide receiver, just so you know.
Maybe that's what Dotson's doing in games.
Oh, please. That guy.
Hey, man, he's just doing his job. You don't hear him complaining, though. You complaining, but he ain't.
that guy couldn't block out my nephew who was falling down the stairs.
All right,
here we go. Toth, I thought, held up pretty well, minus the penalty he had on the fourth down. Steen and Dickerson opened up various lanes on inside runs, but also got to the edge and helped out outside rushes. I thought Dickerson looked as best as he has all year. I thought Lane and Mulata also looked great. Johnson did have a holding penalty, which was very rare. That brought back a
listen, I'd rather take the 15 yards than get my quarterback hurt.
That's true. But the O-line has struggled versus the 5- and 6-man fronts all season. But with Fred Johnson now lined up the past 2 games, I think we've found the key. So good for Freddie.
Right.
On the defensive side, here's the thing we always have to remember, Jay, which we don't often do. As much as I criticize a little bit, and you have sometimes, but you're a little bit more of a staunch fan. This is the youngest defense in the NFL. We have to remember that. So Vic is working with what he has and slowly building up like he did last year.
Yeah.
So I believe in Vic, and I believe we will get close to a top 10 defense. Some people said they'll be a top 5. I don't think they'll get that far, but I think they can be top 10 if they perform this well throughout the year.
Well, they come off the bye. It depends on what they do when they come off the bye. Like, you just don't know what's going to happen. Like, they mess around and, like, the first 2 games, they might end up holding the teams to, like, 10 points apiece. Like, then all of a sudden, the defense numbers start climbing up. And you're like, damn, they got high-power offenses and they hold them to that much. Then it's like when you start playing the teams that don't have a good offense, then the defense even gets better. So you just don't know what's going to happen. We went on that run. We went on that run last year, but I do well admit we had an easier schedule last year. We had an easier schedule. We played lower competition teams. This year is probably the toughest schedule we could possibly see. I don't see
in a long time.
I don't see any other divisions. The 2 divisions that we're playing, the Broncos by which probably will sweep the NFC East this year, which is crazy. But I don't see us having a harder schedule. I thought last year when we played the AFC North, which we swept, by the way. Was a tougher division than the AFC West.
You might be right.
You might be wrong. They're proving me wrong. You see what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, you think about it and it's like, I don't see any other division that we play this year other than the NFC North and the AFC West. What division is tougher than those 2 right now?
They're probably the 2 of us. Yeah, because Kansas City's back with a vengeance, which we'll talk about.
I'm not worried about the AFC South. I'm not worried about the AFC East. The AFC East doesn't scare me. If we had to play the AFC East this year, we talk about the Jets, the Buffalo, New
Patriots are coming
England,
on, though.
and Miami, I'm not worried about that. I think we win 3 out of 4 out of those, or win all 4.
Okay. But yeah, I think the defense is coming on. So they pressured consistently, which I thought we talked about too.
Yeah.
Their 5 sacks, by the way, are the most in their last 14 regular season games. That's a long time. That's going into the last year.
It is, but it's not. It hasn't been their MO yet this year.
It hasn't. It hasn't at all.
So when BG comes back, it might change the dynamic. I'm glad we saw it before BG came back. I'm just glad we saw it beforehand because I didn't want to come in there, oh, it's all because of BG. It's not all because of BG.
It's building up. You're right. It's building up.
He's a cheerleader, man. He coming in to talk to these young dudes and be like, hey, man, you got to be relentless. Let's go harder next time. You know what I mean?
But I love the diversity of this because you had 3 defensive tackles, Ajomo, Carter, and Davis got sacks. You had a linebacker, Zach Bond, and then you had Hunt, a DN, technically an outside linebacker, but a DN that got it. So I love the diversity of that.
Right.
Jihad Campbell, again, has been around the quarterback. He's just got to get home, we talked about. And we talked about Nolan Smith coming back from the bye. So with Smith, Hunt, Uche, BG, and Campbell, I think we're going to have a much better pass rush in the second half of the year.
Yep.
Jalen Carter, you're right, was out of the first game, but he was big time in this game. Patrick Johnson had a rush off the edge that forced Dart to step up in the waiting arms of Hunt. So I think Patrick Johnson's doing pretty good. Again, we talked about Dean and how good he was doing. Dean did trail Devin Singletary on that wheel route that went for a 28-yard completion on 3rd down, but he still had great coverage.
Mm-hmm.
And I think also that we forget is the return of Dean really allowed Zach Bond to be that freelancing linebacker that he likes to be.
Right.
Which is pretty huge. Keely Ringo, again, I can't believe it. Not a single pass caught in his direction. Quinyon Mitchell had a mostly great game. He had a couple things here and there. And obviously the Slayton, kind of pushed off. I thought Cooper DeJean was outstanding in coverage and run support. I don't know if you saw Vic Fangio today, but Vic Fangio basically asked Cooper DeJean to marry him. Did you see that?
No.
Oh my God, dude. I have never seen a guy. I mean, he sucked all the Cooper DeJean out of the room. He was just, it was a love fest. And I was like, ugh. But he really, I mean, it's true though. In all seriousness, he was effusive of his praise of Cooper DeJean. He's like, that guy could play corner. He could play slot. He could play safety. He's just a football player that can play anywhere. And he says, I can't believe that he lasted to the mid-second round. He's like, that was such a steal. It was a great play by Howie.
Yeah.
I thought Drew Makuba had a pretty solid bounce back game. Didn't allow him to beat anywhere over the top, which was great.
Yeah.
I thought Blankenship actually did struggle a little bit of times. He got beat on the tight end for a 21-yard reception. He was also late on a 3rd down reception. So Blankenship did not have a great game, and I missed on that one. So here's the biggest thing, special teams, real fast, and then we'll get to our stats and then our preview. Eagles entered the game, by the way, last in defensive adjusted value average kickoff returns, but Will Shipley had a 41-yard kickoff. That's why I thought you and I both thought much better game. He also had a 32-yard return after dodging a few would-be tacklers a quarter later. So good for Will Shipley. Xavier Gibson had a punt return duties, and he actually had a 17-yard return. A 17-yard return. Can you believe it, Jay? He had more than a fair. He didn't do this. He wasn't waving at his mother the whole time every time he caught something. Dude, catch a ball.
Yeah, no doubt.
And run. Oh,
no
my
doubt.
God. Unbelievable. So Xavier Gibson did something that Dotson will never do, which is actually run with the ball. All right. Punter Brad Maiden, by the way, booted a 57-yarder and kind of flipped the field in the second quarter, so that was great. Elliott did miss his – actually, this is weird. Technically, he missed his second consecutive field goal because he had the miss at Vikings and miss there, but he did come back and he hit another one in 40 yards, and he had all his extra points, so I think Jake's going to be fine. I thought a great day for special teams.
Yeah.
Last but not least, coaching, by the way, let's throw this out there. Nick Sirianni is now 54-22 in the regular season as a head coach. He has the 3rd highest winning percentage behind John Madden and George Allen. That's unbelievable. And he also tied Dick Vermeil for the 3rd most wins in Eagles history. I mean, that's
dope.
Woo! Good for you, Nick.
Yeah.
I don't know how you're doing it. You got somebody's pictures in your drawer, but good for you, buddy. All right, real quick, let's get to the Eagles stats because I think you're going to like it this time, Jay. We actually have some positive stats this time.
Mm-hmm.
Eagles offense went from 26th to 23rd after this game. They're over 300 yards, averaging 300 yards for the first time all season. And by the way, Indianapolis is still number 1. We went from 22nd in passing down to 25th, believe it or not. We went down a little bit to 192. Dallas is the number 1 passing team. We went from 30th in rushing to now 19th after one game. We jumped 11 spots. That's incredible. Now we're averaging 111. We were averaging under 100 yards at 88. So we're now at 111. I think that's great. Probably get to 120. That's where we should be all the time. Buffalo, the number 1 running team. We went from 14th in scoring. We're now 9th in scoring. We're now 26 points per game. Indianapolis still number 1 at 34. Eagles defense, Jay, went from 23rd overall to 20th. We still haven't cracked the top 20 yet. I mean, we're at 20, but I want to be inside that 20, working our way up. We're still averaging 336 yards a game. Not great. So we'll hopefully figure that out. Houston's still number 1 at 266. Amazing. We went from 19th in passing to, ready for this? We went 19th in passing to 18th. Woohoo! We went up 1. All right. Atlanta's still number 1 in passing and rushing. We went from 22nd to 19th. Seattle's number 1 at 75. We went from 20th in scoring to 18th defensive wise. We're now giving up 23 points a game. Jay doesn't like that because Jay only likes to have 2 touchdowns and a field goal as that's all you're getting, and then we're going to win.
Yep.
So we're not quite there yet. We're basically 3 touchdowns and a field goal. We got to figure that out. Houston, by the way, still number 1 at 14 points per game. All right. So last week, give me your last top 5 of last week.
From last week, my top 5 was number 1 was the Colts, the Eagles, the Chiefs, the Lions, and the Rams.
Okay. My top 5 was Colts, Lions, Eagles, Bills, Rams last week. Last week, ESPN had Lions, Colts, Eagles, Bucks, Rams. NFL had Lions, Colts, Chiefs, Seahawks, Packers. Didn't have Eagles even in the top 5. Let's get to this week top 5. Number 5 for you, Jay.
The Broncos.
The Broncos. Okay. Number 5 for me is the Bills. We always disagree on that. I did like the Broncos for a while, but I'm on the Bills now. I'm a big Josh Allen guy.
But that's the thing. So if the Broncos play the Bills.
At the Bills win.
So at the Broncos, they lose?
Yeah, I think Broncos would win if it's at the Broncos. If Broncos,
that's what I'm saying. So yeah, all right, okay.
Yeah, I think the home field advantage is huge for that, whoever that situation is going to be.
Okay.
Number 5 for Biz. Okay, number 4 for you.
The Lions.
The Lions. Okay. Number 4 for me. You convinced me of this. Actually, number 4 for me. I had a big jump, even though they're only 5-3 is the Chiefs. The Chiefs look like they're back.
Yeah,
they look real good. I watched the game and I'm very impressed with the Chiefs. They look. First of all, their defense has never been bad all year.
No,
they pretty much had their horses. It's the offense that was kind of a little and now with Rashid Rice and everything, even though he's a troublemaker, Chiefs look really good, really, really good. We caught him at a good time. Number 3 for you,
the Chiefs.
Chiefs. There you go. Number 3 for me is the Lions.
Okay.
Number 2 for you.
The Birds.
The Birds. I have number 2. I have the Birds as well. You finally dropped the Birds to 2.
Okay.
One, right? You just couldn't put 1. I like that. You're honest with yourself. And the number 1 we have to both agree on then.
We got it. Well, listen, until we beat them, you know what I mean? Like I say, they haven't shown me that they aren't good. They remind me a lot of the 2017 Eagles.
Yeah.
Like they making it happen. And it's on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, yeah, and I tell you,
they got the running game going. They got a quarterback playing. They put up 30 points a game. Like I mean, that's some good competition. Now, can you sustain it, and can you do it in the playoffs? Is the question.
Yeah, that's my biggest thing. Is I mean, the Colts just look really, really, really good. The biggest thing for me is I just didn't think he was going to be back, but Jonathan Taylor is back. I mean, that guy is back and better than ever. And remember, they used to have a great offensive line that kind of left. They had their guard, I forget the guard's name, but that guy was like the perennial All-Pro with Zach Martin for the Cowboys. So I just think they're right now. You can't dismiss any part of that team. They're number 1.
Yeah.
So this week for the ESPN, they had number 1 to 5. By the way, they had Colts, Lions, Eagles, Bills, Bucks. So very, very similar to what you had, Jay.
Okay.
Very similar to what I had too. But they had the Bucks in there, which we did not have. I don't think the Bucks are right there for me. Too many injuries.
Nah.
NFL.
And they only played the Saints this week.
Yeah. The only thing difference with NFL.com is they finally put the Eagles back in there. They have Lions, Colts, Chiefs, Packers, Eagles at 5.
Okay.
Here's something I got to throw at you real fast. You ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Sports Illustrated has the Eagles as 9th.
Mm-hmm.
USA Today has them at 8th. CBS Sports, Eagles are the 11th best team in the NFL.
Yeah, I like when people doubt us.
But isn't that? I mean, here's the thing: there's doubting, and then there's like, come on, they're not even. You're telling me the Eagles aren't even a top 10 team? Who the hell is above them in the? If you want to put them even at 9, okay, that's fine. But you tell me that there's 10 better teams than the Eagles? I don't think so.
But that's why we got to get on the field and show them. You know, when we beat the Packers, then what are they going to say? Because the Packers only lost one game so far. So what are they going to say after we beat the Packers? Oh, they beat the top team in the NFC. Really?
They'll bump us to 10.
Were they the top team in the NFC? Yo, he like that's where the question gonna come in at. That's where I'm gonna be like. That's why this Monday Night Football game after this bye week is gonna be the reason why everybody gonna shut the hell up.
Well, they had the question on ESPN this week on First Take. Cam Newton said the Eagles were a bigger threat than the Packers.
Yeah.
Who was the other guy? Was it Chris Canty? Some of the other guy, I forget who it was, said it was the Packers. And then Stephen A leaned towards the Packers only because I know. I'm just telling you what he did. I don't, be shaking your head.
They're leaning based off of Micah Parsons, right? But like I said, that one player don't make a difference. Like, and then the other thing you got to realize is Jordan Love is not Jalen Hurts. I'm sorry. But if you have one game to play, you putting in Jordan Love, or you putting in Jalen Hurts?
I'll put Jalen Carter in there. He's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Listen, once you win the Super Bowl and you show me that you're that kind of player, and you also say, I'm willing to go under center, which I don't like, but I want to win. There's only one player.
They forget last year we beat them twice. We beat the Packers twice last year, handily. It wasn't even close. It wasn't even like, oh, man, this is going to be a good one. It wasn't. It was.
All right, so we had our 2 trivia questions tonight. We're going to end out in their trivia stuff. So, again, who are the 2 Eagle running backs to last run for 100 yards each in the same game? And name of the game. We also had back-to-back 140 passer rating by Jalen Hurts. There's only 2 other Eagle quarterbacks to do that. Who were they and when were they? By the way, Hurts has already this year increased his career passer rating from 93.7 to 94.9 is the 18th highest of all time. His passer rating is now higher than 25 of 27 quarterbacks in the Hall of Fame. Wow. All but Steve Young and Peyton Manning are above Hurts all time. That's incredible.
Wow.
And by the way, Jordan Davis, I didn't realize this. He's the only Eagle to start all 46 games since opening day 2023.
Nice.
The next longest streak is on A.J. Brown's 23-game streak, which ended Sunday, which is a shame. Devontae Smith is now 15 in a row. Last but not least question, another trivia question too. We got a lot of merchandise. So ladies and gentlemen, go to BroadStreetMisery.com, pick out your merchandise, you get it right. Jackson Dart was going to be the guy who was going to be the second rookie QB to beat Eagles twice in a season. Since he is not, there's only one rookie QB to beat the Eagles twice in a season. Who was that QB? Yeah, you don't no idea. You got nothing, dude. Yeah, he's got. See, I love when I stump Jay because he just sits there and goes, "Corey is the man." That's his only look that he has got in his face. Corey is the man. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is the show tonight. We are going to have a shortened bye-week show coming up next week, Tuesday at 9:00. So please be there. But that is going to end it for tonight. But we will next week, since it's a bye week, we're going to have a preview of the Packers game. We're also have more trivia coming at you, and we'll also have some more updates for you. So tune in next week, 9:00. We will be there as always for this week. Thank you for tuning in on our Eagles busting out those G-boys. And we'll be back next week. And then, of course, the following week, we're going to talk about the Eagles' victory over the Packers because we'll give you our preview of what we think we're going to have for the Eagles-Packers. So, as always, this is the Fly Eagles Fly podcast here on Tuesday nights, 9:00 Eastern Standard Time on the Broad Street Misery Network. I am Corey Alexander.
I'm Jay Bliss.
And we will see you next week. Thank you for tuning in.